Me fellow Sierra Leoneans, now here Peter must talk. Today I want to submit to you, say, we Sierra Leone House of Parliament now a dysfunctional house. I want to submit to you today, say, we Sierra Leone House of Parliament now the house of unconstitutionality. I want to submit to you today, say, we Sierra Leone House of Parliament now a house usai common parliamentary procedures and protocols are totally disregarded. And just before you jump, begin to defend them already, even before you hear my views. I want to tell you this. Each and every well-minded, underline the word, well-minded Sierra Leonean want Le Bio Paupa the new direction succeed. Including myself. We all want Le Bio succeed. Me, I be want Le Ane succeed the same way I want Le Bio succeed. You know why? Because the success of the government means the success of the people. The success of the government means the success of the nation and the country as a whole. The betterment of human life. Yes, the better living standard and condition of people. That's the success of a government mean to any well-minded Sierra Leoneans. But success not for come at the expense of unconstitutionality. Success not for come at the expense of lawlessness. Success not for the come at the expense of total disregard of parliamentary procedures. Hence the reason why I do this video, for call the attention to the speaker, deputy speaker, and predominantly SLPP members of parliament, for make them understand, say, yes, we are aware of your lawlessness in the house where laws are made. And I want to give you, before I go to for provide you all the rationales and why I believe, say, the House of Parliament is a lawless place at the moment. Before I go through, make I provide you all the evidence for conclude, say, some of the opposition parliamentary caucus leaders, they don't failed in their responsibility for hold the government accountable. Before I present all the information, I want to give you a little bit of a background of the election, because people they forget quick, Saloma, they forget. Number one, there are three arms of government: the executive, legislative, and the judiciary. The Salon people, and here is how they vote. Then take the executive, when are the president and everything, and give SLPP. Yes, then take the legislative, when at the parliament, then give APC. Yes, that's what happened. And before people then begin to go confusing, I tell you, SLPP win by a small margin, a small margin of 92,235 votes. You understand? 92,235 votes. Then SLPP win by. So it's a very, very small margin where SLPP win by. But make I get to the point. Here is how Sierra Leoneans then voted. Then give 66 members of parliament seats to APC. Then give SLPP 49. Understand? APC get half of the House of Parliament, win 132. 66 then get them. SLPP get a minority, win 49. NGC get 4. Now opposition party. C4C get 8. Now opposition we get 3. We also get 3 independents. But amongst that, we get the paramount chief representative members of parliament. We have 14 seats altogether. Out of that 14 seats, the majority of that 14 seats, now paramount chief representative members, they wouldn't belong to APC. So if you add all together, APC get the overall house na their hand. What does that mean? Nothing the way for pass through that parliament day without the APC the involvement. You know why Sierra Leoneans they vote like that? Sierra Leoneans they vote like that. They're wise because they know say a good opposition brings out the best in the government. They want let the opposition scrutinize everything where the government they pass through, appointments, approvals, budgets, and all these decisions, laws, and everything. So, but if those people have been sidelined, the rules have been bent for just bulldoze them way through. Now I slap in the faces of voters, and I give example how SLPP parliamentarians them under the stewardship of Dr. Abbas Bundu, then don't turn the Sierra Leone House of Parliament into the House of Unconstitutionality. Like I tell you, it starts from the election of the speaker, deputy speaker, clerk, and the whip of parliament. What it need be for me to happen where the parliament sit? Now the parliament, all the members of parliament, that 146 members, now they mean supposed for elect a speaker, deputy speaker, clerk, and the whip. But what happen? SLPP then take advantage of APC them weak opposition decisions for where them walk out, demonstrate by walking out of parliament. Then quickly unconstitutionally they elect Abbas Bundu as the speaker. Then elect Honorable Solomon Thomas as the deputy speaker, clerk, and whip were elected. That was unconstitutional. I want to make you know that. It is the truth. The second example I want to give. Now the appointment of officials, government officials. When government appoints certain officials, then they go through the parliament for approval, endorsement, and questioning, interview process. What usually happen is that when the government don't decide, say this person we don't appoint him, one pointer to this role, then they send that person in credentials to the parliament. Who said that? When they send that to the clerk of the parliament, they send those details to the appointment and approval oversight committee. That committee, then they look over that, and then members of parliament are informed, say, well, this person they come on this deal for can interview him. Then they get sufficient time for peruse that person there in details. Then and question accordingly for make sure see the right people are selected for prevent, nepotism, for prevent incompetent people for being appointed into key positions. That is the main reason for it. But SLPP has disregarded that throughout this government, the BO-led SLPP government. And I give you one of the reasons that ACC boss, a gentleman, one of the brightest minds in Sierra Leone, Francis Ben Kalfala, in appointment, the controversy was so much that the members of parliament, including the opposition parliamentary caucus leaders, then be informed then 35 minutes before the interview. They're not given no time for peruse the thing. They're not given no time for the oversight committee look at anything. That was so bizarre and unconstitutional. Another second example I want to give you. Now the impasse between APC and mainly SLPP about the instrument of the Commission of Inquiry. Let me tell you, these issues then prove say SLPP, the current SLPP parliament, they not get a good ability for negotiate and dialogue. Yes, if they did, none of the issue will come up. Excuse me. But that issue they become such a huge issue that you want even undermine the integrity of the Commission of Inquiry. That's his second example. Third example, now the e-passport controversy. The e-passport controversy, now one of the most shocking controversies in the history of Sierra Leone Parliament, wherein a private member illegally annulled a document of the Wall of Parliament under the leadership of the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Solomon Thomas. You understand? A decision where whole parliament under EBK, no matter how you look at EBK, now being a democratic government. And that government, the parliament include SLPP as well when they come Labo so today. They made a decision for all that contract, that e-passport contract. For normally one member of parliament he can move a motion and all that in a single day without following due process is abominable. I'll tell you which was what. According to the Parliamentary Standing Order 25, subsection 4, before a member for come up with a motion, a notice for be provided to the Clerk of Parliament 7 days before that. This not ever happened. That the same day way they present and the same day way they annul decision. So it is show inconsistency and illegality of these decisions when you look at them. Make I give you another example. The fourth example I want to give you, now the most recent one, the president in proclamation of state of emergency on rape and sexual violence against minors. Yes, that particular proclamation, so many of us be happy when the president take that decisive decision. But for make that decision, the president will make law, and the parliament they make law. For make that decision, they be endorsed, the president will need a certificate of approval from the parliament. Forget that certificate of approval from the parliament. You will need a 2/3 majority of the parliament through a ballot vote for make that a certificate of approval be issued. But that never happened. You know what happened? We Speaker Dr. Abbas Bundu, he preside over the illegal decision for accord this certificate of approval to the president, what he do? He decides instead of letting vote by ballot, which is demanded legally for make them do, he decides them for vote by word of mouth. Yes or no? Yes or no? So if everybody say no, then the speaker say na yes here. Wouldn't you for what questioner? That's what they pass here. This is the level of embarrassment in Sierra Leone. And make I tell you one of the things will be so embarrassing. Me, I read this true focus of Africa. BBC World Service. That's why I read. If they read the voices within the vote, they know their voice louder than the yes them voice. But yet, Dr. Abbas Bund, when the speaker, a man who appear to have lacked all sense of decency and integrity. What he do? He say no, he say na yes here. It was so funny on BBC when they play them. So those are the things that you and I need for stand up for. The unconstitutionality you and I need for stand up for. Make sure say we get rid of, because these decisions the way they make, these laws are there for ensure you and I will interest. But if we get a government, a parliament who suddenly bulldoze their way out of everything, then you and I should be concerned. Hence the reason we should raise our voice. Now, to the area of the Mumu opposition parliamentary caucus leaders. Let me tell you, they say a strong opposition brings out the best in the government. But if you get Mumu opposition parliamentary caucus leaders, they wouldn't hide behind them finger for attack issues, for their own selfish interest. It is the saddest thing of all things. Make I tell you what happened, especially when this president in proclamation, where they do recently about 2 weeks ago, we hear people like Cherry Coco come out and speak eloquently and condemn the issue and talk and call this decision illegal, and he called the certificate of approval illegal. This is how people speak with conviction. If you look at people like Honorable Hassan Sise, the opposition APC parliamentary whip, when that guy speaks, he speaks to the purpose. He speaks with conviction. And you see the motive in all of what he's saying. But we hear other caucus parliamentary leaders, the way they hide behind jargons for expressing views. It was so disappointing. Make I give you an example. You listen to somebody like Julius Malema, a parliamentarian, where he speak. Even when he not be youth leader, when he speak, people listen to him. You know why people they hide behind their fingers and jargons for speak? Is because they have something to hide. And it's a deception to their party, is the deception to their constituents, is the deception to the nation as a whole. Because as a parliamentarian, one of the key areas that you voice, if you don't silence your voice behind jargons, then you've compromised. Only God knows why. I don't want to go into why, but it's clear that some of the parliamentary caucus leaders have compromised. Make I give you an example. Enama Lamina, when the C4C caucus leader, today in a parliamentary caucus leader, when he was bulldozed out of the position of Mayor Nakono, when you listen to him, when Ian and Diana Konomani in the fight, when you listen on the radio, you hear that this guy meant what he was saying. He was true to himself and to the cause for standing up for the truth and for his people. It was eloquent. When they speak jargons, when they be politically correct, he was speaking to the letter, advocating for truth, for the interest of in district and in city. Who's I been there? You understand? When you hear him by TV, he was speaking very clearly. Compare that to how he spoke on this recent debate on the president in proclamation. Compare that, and you can see clearly that he's compromised. You can see clearly that he is not true to the cause. He is not true to what he is saying. And this is a big slap in the faces of those. If parliamentary members of parliament, if members, opposition political parliamentary caucus leaders, then they make excuse, say, the man and the tight things, they don't give you a chance for doing, they give you a chance. If then they complain, foul. What about the local person at the village when nobody will listen to? When they vote for these guys in the first place? What about the vulnerable woman and Pekin when they vote for these guys, looking up to them, say, go advocate for we, go stand for we, go make sure the truth come out for we, make sure the best come out for we. What about them? I'll tell you one thing. Any parliamentarian will give you that flimsy excuse, say, parliament, you don't understand, it's so difficult. I tell you, they are lost causes. Yes, I say this. I say this without any personal hatred or anything. It's the truth. I don't care who's on the other side. When it comes to the interest of Sierra Leone, we have to stand up for the truth. Our friendship, our relationship should not matter when it comes to the interest of our country. And then political parties, they need to wake up and see that some of these guys are there. They need to be guided. They are not maturing in their role. They need to be guided because they're not doing what they're supposed to do, which is constructive criticism of the government of the day. If the government of the day does something right, you acknowledge them. If they do something wrong, you criticize them constructively. But constructive criticism no means say you for compromise. Constructive criticism no means say you for be silenced. That's a big difference. Look at KKY where you speak. People listen. Constructive criticism. Now the typical example of constructive criticism that. So ladies and gentlemen, this time a view, and I want to submit to you say we parliament na a house of undemocratic decision. A house that law is supposed to be make don't become a house of lawlessness, and everyone need to be aware of it and need to stand up and call on the parliament, the speaker, deputy speaker, and all the members of parliament for them stand up for the truth. Peter Thomas.